DJ Moore and his emergence and emphasis of this offense on yards after the catch, it seems to be trending more that way instead of maybe having a true number one receiver, number two receiver, number three receiver. Would you kind of agree with that?
I'm not sure I totally understand what you're saying, but DJ has emerged. He's growing. He's becoming a better receiver. He's each week I think he's playing faster. And he's playing more consistently. Obviously, when he gets the ball in his hands, he's an explosive player. I'm not big on that number one receiver. I think all your guys have to be able to go play and make plays and contribute. So that's what we're looking to get done.
Without the deep ball being as much of a factor, this last several weeks in the beginning of the season, having guys that can create extra yards and make those chunk plays happen without necessarily the ball traveling through the air, how important has that been for you guys?
Well, it's been critical, and obviously when you get long runs, you get big plays out of the running game. That's a bonus because I don't know all teams do that, and that's where Christian contributes to it. But you want to be a complete team, and you want to be able to get big plays in the passing game up the field, along with the short throws and long runs. It's put a lot of pressure on our red zone, and we obviously we're very good early, and we haven't been as good. We've still been able to score, but we haven't scored at the same rate, or touchdowns at the same rate, and that's cost us. So getting some of those big plays over the top helps everything.
And Norv, the flip side of guys like DJ and Curtis getting on the field more has been fewer reps for Funchess. What have you seen out of him, and is it simply a production deal that has cut into his snaps?
Well, it's what we talk about. You only get so many snaps, so many guys on the field at a time. And Funchess went through that period where his back was a little bit sore, and it's just worked out that way.
Norv, what did Ian Thomas show you Sunday in Cleveland?
Well, that's the thing that you get to see that in a game, and it's a development through the season, and he's made plays like that in practice, throughout the season in terms of doing what we're doing. Then a guy gets an opportunity and he's able to do that. It's good. This is a whole new deal for Ian. He came out of college with a spread offense, very little experience, and everything he does is new to him. And he's growing and is going to be a real good player.
What do you see from the Saints defense and the challenges that they present on Monday night?
Well, people have really struggled to run against them in terms of total yards, average per attempt, and then number of attempts. And there have been a lot of games where they get way ahead, and teams aren't going to run. The teams that have been most successful have been able to keep balance, move the ball with the run and the pass, and obviously have production on offense, but more importantly, keep their offense off the field.
How big a challenge for your offensive line with that said and the fact that they have a pretty potent pass rush?
Well, it's a real challenge, and our guys, they've fought through this thing pretty good, and we got some guys that are a little bit beat up and have, played at a high level, even so. But it's going to be a test for all our blockers, our tight ends, our offensive line, everyone.
Controlling the ball for a longer period of time, possession clock, obviously is a huge factor in this game as well to keep Drew Brees and his offense, kind of off the field. But when you guys have the ball and knowing that these guys love to play fast, how do you play fast within a methodical drive?
Well, we've done that. We've used hurry up in a mix, not on every down. And we've had some really good drives with using both of those things and still been able to use the clock. Obviously, the key is, if you're using that style, is finishing drives with touchdowns.
I don't know if you saw Phillip Rivers last night and the clutch throws he made there down the stretch to win that game. You guys had some chances to win some games, but if you'd had some clutch throws down there, why you guys feel like you haven't been able to convert that? Well,
I don't think you can lump them all together. Each one has a different reason, and we've made a lot of clutch throws to get in a position. You know, we just haven't finished, and all of them. Now there's some we have. Detroit, we made 2 great throws and catches in the end zone to get in a position to do you know how it ended. I think when you talk about, and again, this is a development. You talk about DJ's a rookie, Ian's a rookie, Curtis is basically a rookie. He didn't play last year, and you have Cam, who really hasn't practiced on Wednesdays and Thursdays in a month. That's what I talked about. I talked about a month ago. You guys asked me about him not practicing on those days, and I think over a period of time, there's a trickle-down effect that you lose some of that continuity, you lose some of that consistency. Obviously, in the beginning, in early, you know, the first half of the year, I think there was, you know, some great consistency. It's still been good. It hasn't been as good as it was early. We've been awfully productive in terms of yardage, moving the ball, doing those type of things. We've just, you know, kind of been our own worst enemy. We had a touchdown call back Sunday with a holding call. We had a false start on 2nd and 3 in the red zone, which completely changes it. And then, as you say, we had missed opportunities there on that last drive.
Besides the trickle-down effect where timing is concerned, Norv, with Cam missing Wednesdays and Thursdays, has that affected his mechanics too? Because it seems like he's had some throws, crucial throws.
Well, I think if you're not practicing on Wednesday and Thursday, obviously we made a strong commitment to the footwork and his getting back and getting rid of the ball quick throughout training camp, throughout all of the early part. And I think you can talk about it, and we're talking about it and emphasizing it, but if you're not doing it Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, not doing it every time you go back and throw, sure, you're going to, you know, you're going to lose a little bit of that. And that's not to say that's the issue, because Cam makes a lot of throws. You know, it seems that you only talk about it when the ball's errant. His mechanics have been very much the same when he's made a lot of those throws. You know, it's always going to be an emphasis for me and for Scott with Cam. You know, and the more reps he gets doing those things, the more it gets ingrained.
Bridgewater said that you showed him film of Phillip Rivers to kind of get his mind working faster. When you started working with him, I asked Cam if he'd ever done that, and he said no. Why didn't you do that with him? You did it with Bridgewater.
Well, Cam saw a lot of the cut-ups. When we put this offense in, he saw a lot of cut-ups of a lot of guys playing. Some of it was Teddy, some of it was he saw cut-ups of Aikman. So I think he saw those things. You know, it was Cam is, each guy is different. We're talking about when we got Teddy, he was a rookie out of Louisville, you know, running a whole different style of offense. Each guy's different.
Back to the timing thing, does that affect the way that you can run those plays that have so much misdirection, because so much of that is split second?
I don't think so. You know, I think that those plays have been great for us, and they give you some real production. And one of the things when you have young receivers, those plays get the ball in their hands with a chance to use their athletic ability without the precision of throwing the ball deep or throwing those things. You know, and those are always going to be a part of our offense, and they really helped us early. You know, you're only going to run those things so many times. People are going to do it. And I'm not, like I said, our offensive production in terms of moving the football has been better over the last 4 weeks than it was the first part of the year. I mean, we've had more yards, more big plays. Christian's production has been unbelievable. We're just not finishing.
I want to ask you on Christian. There are a lot of good backs in the NFC. What would say you need to vote for Christian McCaffrey for Pro Bowl over some of those other guys?
Well, I'd vote for him because he's on our team, number one. You know, I think when you look at what he's meant in terms of the production to this team, what he's meant, it's pretty impressive. So that would be my campaign slogan for him. You know, he's been you know, a big part of a big percentage of what we're doing offensively, and he kind of carries the load. It goes through, obviously it goes through him and Cam.